Hello my friends, I am G Hondo and welcome back to our Let's Play of OpenTTD with mods. This is episode 10. In episode 9 we made a little bit of progress on our missions here and we're given a replacement which was a duplicate, which is excellent. And since then we've just been letting the vehicles flow, watching the money, and seeing if we couldn't go ahead and get some of this debt back down that I had to re-extend in order to fix up this oil refinery. Which is twice now we've had to do that, because the amount of oil in that area apparently is very, very volatile. But anyway, we'll just keep an eye on it, and we'll keep an eye on the money, and hopefully we can nip this down, but actually keep it down this time. In the last episode we also took a quick look, just for an estimation's sake, and this mission here, Fort Batminster Bank, to its closest allied bank here in Trunhall, I estimate will take approximately 100,000 to build just for the road. I just did the shift click estimate build, and it was 75,000 to get the bulk of the way one way, and then 25 to get the rest of the way the other way. Because of course you could only build basically, L-shaped roads. There are no, smooth diagonal ones. So you kind of have to make gigantic L-shaped, and it was about 100 grand. So that's why it's not actually being done yet. It is something I'd like to do at some point, but I am not willing to extend another loan to do it. Actually, it would be about 5 loans actually, maybe 6, because I'd also have to build a station and some vehicles to actually service it. So at this point, it can just sit in there, in the queue there, and wait for us, and that will have to be good. But anyway, moving on here. And we're just watching the Great Lewis Head factory here, simply because I think it's going to be the next one to finish, although it still has a long, long way to go. Each of these is only hauling in 8 grain, and it wants 4,000 total, so even though it's already 83%, that still represents a lot of trips. So, but it gives us something to watch while I'm watching the money over here, to keep an eye on when I can repay some debt. Because I really don't like sailing our financial Titanic near this debt iceberg, to use some really, really terrible analogy. But anyway. And I'm still keeping my eye out for any point where it says there's a new vehicle available. I did check, between episodes just now, and just to make sure I hadn't missed a message, and there has not been a new vehicle yet. I must admit though, I'm very surprised there is no boat, because definitely sailing vessels were absolutely available in the 1800s, but I guess the mods I have don't include those, so I might at some point have to look, maybe if I ever do a season 3 of this, to see if there's any mods that will introduce boats in the earlier time period. But who knows? Either way, we are making progress. I just managed to chip away a little bit more debt just now. So progress is being made. I had originally estimated April, and then I upgraded to August, but apparently it really was October. But can't tell for sure. These things I really can only guess. Now, of course, that means we have to temporarily go into the negative money, of course, because every time I pay one of these off, I still end up having to pay the interest for that one last month, so. But that's okay. You can see, year over year, this is ever so slightly dropping, and every time it drops, that just means the overall profit improves. So it is slow going, I will admit again and again and again, it is slow going, but it is progress. We're going in the right direction. We're walking up a steep, ice-covered hill in a stiff wind. but we are going in the right direction, so I am happy with that. And given the type of vehicles we have, just these little horse-drawn carriages, I mean, I'm not surprised that it's very, very slow going, because these just don't have the carrying capacity. I mean, I could just buy, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds more of them, but you still pay for like, every single one. They cost a lot too, so yes, I'd make a little bit more money, maybe, if there was enough production at the industries to support them, but it's not, a linear scale where it's just every single one gives you more and more and more in the exact even amount. You are limited by the amount of industry available. So, but like I say, we're in a good spot here. We are making progress. I don't have maybe enough vehicles. I could, like I say, get a few more, but I clearly have enough that we're making good profit, which means we are chipping away at this debt at a reasonable clip. And every time we chip a piece of it away, the next one gets just that little tiny bit quicker because we save a couple of bucks every month on interest. So we will get there. Will we get there in time to build this bank mission? I don't know. Probably not. But as I mentioned earlier in another episode, there's no reward for completing these, just as there's no penalty for failing them. So there probably is other scripts. I know I have played with one that is very similar to this, only it actually does give you a cash reward when you complete it. I don't remember if it has penalties for failing it, though. I don't remember. I didn't play it that long. But I prefer this one anyway. I mean, yes, the extra income certainly would be nice. We probably would be debt-free much, much faster. But that, in my mind, that makes it a little bit too easy. So I do like a little bit of challenge. This is a very chill channel. We're not here to really push and push. But on the other hand, I don't want it so easy that I'm going to fall asleep while I'm recording. I'm trying to find a good balance. So, but anyway, yes, there's lots of these. I know. So, mostly, I just want to make sure that what I'm recording will appeal. So when you're watching this, that you're enjoying yourself. So it's tough. I've got to find that exact balance between, it's so easy, you're comatose, versus it's so hard. You're listening to me sweat and scream and cry out. Maybe almost get to the point of swearing or something. I don't want to get anywhere near that. So I'm just trying to find that nice balance where there's a little bit of a challenge to keep it interesting, but not so great that there's no point in playing, or so easy that there's no point in playing. And that's actually the main reason I shut down the previous series of this, the vanilla one, because I had the maintenance costs and the running costs set to low, not medium. So about 60 years into the game, we were at 600 million euros, which is just crazy. I mean, at that point, there's zero challenge in the game. You can build wherever you want, whenever you want, and you don't have to think about it. And that's just too easy. So I think now on these medium settings, this is a lot better. It's more strategic. I have to actually decide when it's worth to extend a loan to build something. And, I get more satisfaction out of, actually being able to pay off these loans. So I think this is going to be a much better series overall than the first one. And the fact that there's some mods that let me start back in the 1800s instead of the 1950s, well, that's just icing on the cake. So anyway, I just wanted to get that out of the way, and we'll continue just to make some progress here. Excuse me. But as I had said in, early on in that previous series, I am absolutely open to suggestions. So anyone who is watching, if you feel like leaving a comment, please absolutely do so. I will read all comments, and I will try as best I can to accommodate everyone. Obviously, you can't please all the people all the time, but you certainly can please some of the people some of the time. So I will absolutely try to do that. So any comments, positive or negative, feel free, leave a comment. Just if you are going to leave a negative comment, please at least make sure it's constructive. You know, that's all I really ask. So anyway, I can't imagine anyone will actually leave a terribly negative comment. If you don't like the video, you just don't watch it. So that's why I've never understood why people troll on the videos. There's some channels I watch, and I read through the comments that are on those ones, and it just fascinates me. You know, there's a lot of people I'll be saying positive things about it, and that's fantastic. And then there'll be people that just they seem like they're just out there to upset people. Like they're not adding any value to anyone's life, right? They're just there to be jerks, and I don't know, I don't get that. But anyway. Maybe that's the one advantage I have now since I'm a channel. I just started a little over a week ago. So at this point, of course, I have very low viewership still. And that means, you know, I don't have any trolls yet. But maybe at some point in the future, once my channel grows a bit, that'll become something I'll have to look at. But for now, anyway, we're just hanging out. Everything's chill. And that's just the way I like it. So anyway, thank you for sticking with me for this long and listening through the little rant I just... mini rant, I guess. Something. So, that's just the way I feel. So, for better or for worse, that's just the thoughts that go through my head. So, I'm definitely noticing this year we must not have gotten very many of the long routes landing because it's already November and the annual, like the income is much, much less. So we must just not have happened to have had a bunch of those longer routes hitting this year. Which means next year will be better once they do arrive, so that'll be alright. And I don't mind that in the slightest. So that's good stuff. And we're just about into 1823. Which is also fantastic. But you'll notice the road running costs, even though I haven't bought any new vehicles, that is going up. As vehicles age, not only do they become less reliable, they also start costing more to maintain. So that's the other reason it's good always to be replacing them somewhere near when they're getting towards their end of life, which at least the first few vehicles I bought will be soon, because we started in 1800 and we're almost at 1825, so probably in 1824 we're going to start getting pop-ups about vehicles getting old, so that's okay. That's the other reason I want so aggressively to get rid of this debt. Obviously I don't like interest, but the more of this I pay off, the less harmful the extra cost up here is. So we're zooming along, so that's good. At this point, we're paying $3,021 per month in interest, about. So should be about 36,000. So we didn't really get much off of it in 1822, but hopefully we should be able to get some of 1823 done. So, although, like I say, the road vehicle running costs are increasing noticeably, as is the property maintenance. So again, even though I didn't actually build any new road or new stations or anything, the cost does slowly tick up over time. I guess it's inflation or something, but anyway, it'll be okay. Hopefully. Pop over here and have a look. But I'm pretty sure that these are just a case of they're the long trip vehicles, but I do want to check a couple of them just to be sure, because there are quite a few of them. quite a very few of them. Okay, you're going empty. That's not a good sign. I think that oil has given out again. And you're going empty. Okay, you're on your way to the depot, so that's okay that that's empty, although I do want to check Dealey Valley anyway, just in case. I can't imagine that the farm has given out. Those usually don't collapse, but it appears it has. Oh, no, wait, sorry, that was... I started building that in the wrong spot. I remember now this was... I accidentally built this here because there was another factory there, and I thought that was the one for the mission. That was my mistake. Let me just zip over here real quick and verify, but I'm pretty sure... Yeah, the farm is still there. It's still fine. The production is terrible, though, especially on the grain. That's very, very low. But it is still functional. I may have to come back to that anyway and find some more stockpile. But in the meantime, let's check on the oil here, because it looks to me... Nant Hill, yeah. So that oil ran out again. So this will now be the third time I have to add another... it's not the right refinery. Another new oil rig somewhere. Or oil well, or what have you. Oil well, I guess. And there isn't one anywhere even remotely near. Okay, I am not dragging a road that far. That is for sure. That is absolutely 100% certainly not going to happen. So, what we're going to do, so I stop paying for all these vehicles, is I'm just going to have them all come in and I'm just going to sell them off. It means we can't complete that mission, or at least we can't finish that mission, but at this point I don't really mind because this is absolutely crazy. I'm not paying for these vehicles to just run and run and run and run and run and never get anywhere. So we'll haul them all back in. Because if we look at them, they're losing... Well, they're losing about $1,000 a year each. And that is just crazy. I'm not paying for that. We're already not doing all that well financially. There's definitely no point in spending an extra $4,000 a year for nothing. So we'll get all them hauled in and sold off, and that will be fine. It's unfortunate, but it's definitely better than continuing to pay. And we'll even get 500 bucks a piece back from them, approximately. So that's how much they're actually worth to sell off, I guess. But the more important part is I'll no longer be paying maintenance on them, and that's more important to me than anything else. And their reliability's, yeah, probably pretty bad as well anyway, but we'll just get rid of them and that will be fine. So I'm absolutely not interested whatsoever in having that. And I'm not sure if that's coming in on the microphone or not. My home phone is going off and I can't reach it from here to shut it off, so if you can hear that, I'm sorry for that. I did remember to put the sound down on my cell phone, so that won't be a bother, but the home phone I didn't do, so I'm sorry for that, if you can even hear it. I'm not sure if that was picked up on the microphone or not. Oh, come on, you're that close. And you're the last one as far as I know. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So now we are no longer paying for all of those terrible vehicles, which are just costing a fortune. So we should... won't really help for this year because it's a bit late, but the running costs will drop, and the actual income will be unchanged because they weren't making any income anyway. So overall, we'll start doing a bit better, and that's good. did leave this up because I wanted to go and look and see if there is another farm somewhere around here. But I'll check from the drop-off point because that's more meaningful to me to look from it for. Look for it from. Wow, sorry about that. Apparently I don't English good. Okay, so there is another farm over here, but that's still going to be very expensive. So I think we're just going to go off of what we already got. Even though it's very, very minimal, we're just going to stick with the small amount of production we have over here. At least until it gives out completely. Yeah, that'll have to be okay for now. It's weird too, because it's showing it makes so little, and yet it thinks that we're not really transporting much of it either, which I find a little bit weird. But maybe I should set them to do full loads, at least for the grain. Not so worried about the livestock, but I'll have to think about that, and I'll do that between episodes, because we are getting at the point where I should be calling this one here, because we're just past the 20-minute mark. So at this point, I'm going to call that an episode. So until next time, everybody, please stay calm, and I hope you'll come and chill with me again in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye now.